When was the last time you stood at the edge of something big? That moment your heart races, your mind is filled with anticipation, and you know that things could either work out brilliantly or fail miserably. Now for me, that moment was July 14th, 2023. My dad, brother, and I, along with some of our church community, stood in our fully decorated church, surrounded by bright banners, colorful props, and piles of crafts waiting to be used. After weeks of preparation, tomorrow would be the day our church's 2-day vacation Bible school would come to life. We checked off nearly every item on our list. The props were made, the games were planned, and the t-shirts were printed. Everything looked perfect. But let's be honest, perfection in planning usually means trying to memorize a TED Talk 2 days before the event. And trust me, I know a little bit about that one. But to really understand why this day meant so much, you need to know a little bit about the journey that brought us here. Our church isn't huge. We're a small congregation of 15 or so families, originally from India, now here in the United States. But we're more than just a group. We're a family. I vividly remember as a kid taking 2 precious summer days every single year to attend my church's Vacation Bible School, or VBS, a church program designed to bring kids together for faith-based lessons, games, and fun activities. We'd all come together to strengthen our faith and also grow closer as a youth community. However, in March of 2020, that all changed. 4th grader me, along with the rest of all of you, I'm sure, were put into quarantine. Life as we knew it was suddenly paused, and that meant VBS too. But 3 years later, even as things gradually reopened around the world, VBS didn't return. And that brings me to the first lesson we learned: identify and ideate. The first step towards solving any problem is to ask, what's missing? It's easy to overlook the root cause of a problem, but the ability to identify it is the first step towards a solution. For us, the problem was clear. VBS hadn't returned, and our church was missing an experience that had once brought us all closer together. The solution was a simple one, an ambitious one, an idea to bring our church's youth community back together by bringing back VBS. But this time, more powerful and more vibrant than ever. We had the vision and were lucky enough to get guidance from another church who shared lesson plans and materials from their VBS called Twists and Turns, which is essentially an experience where kids learn how Jesus guides them through the twists and turns of life. And while this head start certainly helped, no one could have prepared us for the reality of pulling off such a dynamic event in 3 weeks. Now early on, we realized something important. We couldn't do this alone. Sure, we had some clear ideas, the lessons we wanted to teach, the games we wanted to play, but translating that vision into reality required input from everyone. Now that brings me to the second lesson. Teamwork turns me into we. Any successful idea relies on teamwork. It may begin small, but as it grows, it inevitably reaches such a large scale where no single person can handle it all alone. When we come together, we amplify our strengths, and as Aristotle put it, create a whole much greater than the sum of its parts. For us, this started with creating a group chat of administrators, teachers, and a decoration crew. But the success of the event came from everyone knowing their part and trusting the team. The teachers familiarized themselves with the content and prepared lessons. Others bought materials and made crafts. A small group handled finances. And my family helped design anything printed, from flyers, posters, stickers, and bookmarks. Now on that note, with decorations, we wanted perfection. And to understand why, take a look up here at this image of Disneyland. I want you to think about what makes this place so magical. Is it the rides? Is it the food? It's more of a combination of all, but if you look deeper inside, you'll find that it's in the details that transport you. For kids, surroundings matter just as much. So we wanted to create that same sense of wonder for our VBS. But pulling that off in 3 weeks felt like building Disneyland itself. This brings me to the next lesson we learned. Lead by example. Any great leader knows the truth that actions speak louder than words. Whether in a small group project or even on a global stage, the example that any person sets becomes a blueprint for others to follow. Our VBS leader sent a photo of his own DIY decorations, as you can see up there. And although a simple idea, this sparked everyone's enthusiasm and creativity. Soon after, a family created huge paper trees. Another created a life-size game board. And our family created a Rubik's Cube, photo booth, and as you can see here, a small little die. And by the end, there's so many props that we struggle to find a place for everything. Now, to personalize our VBS and take things a step further, we wanted to create custom t-shirts for every single kid. Now, t-shirts seem simple enough until you realize that you're basically running a three-man factory. First, you're at Hobby Lobby debating between sky blue and ocean mist like it's a life or death decision. But really, this brings us to the next lesson we learned. Persistence powers progress. Persistence drives ambitious ideas into reality. Big achievements are never accomplished in a single leap, but rather through consistent effort that grows over time. So, we persisted. Countless trips to Hobby Lobby and the library later, we finally completed all, drumroll please, 66 t-shirts. But what we gained went far beyond t-shirts. We created a much more memorable experience for every single kid at VBS. By now, all the teachers were ready with their lessons, all the decorations were created and set up, and all the t-shirts were printed. And this brings us right back to July 14th. Surrounded by bright banners, colorful props, and piles of crafts waiting to be used, after weeks of planning, tomorrow would be the day our congregation's 2-day vacation Bible school would come to life. As you can imagine, we all were unbelievably nervous, thinking about what if after what if. And this brings me to our final lesson: face your fears. As Paulo Coelho put it, the one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve is the fear of failure. So instead of worrying about what could happen, we took the right action. We prepared for indoor games with rain. We prepared for extra shirts. We prepared for dietary needs. And realizing all of these backup plans relieved every single one of us. Now, during those 2 days of VBS, every single kid had an experience that no one would forget. And they say a picture tells 1,000 words, but I don't think even pictures can truly capture the experience that every single kid had at VBS. And yes, those are custom onesies we made for a pair of triplets. Now, the theme of our VBS, as you know, was twists and turns. And by the end, it felt like the perfect description for everything we'd just been through. In every unexpected moment, we saw people stepping up. Kids who offered their skills in ways we hadn't anticipated. Volunteers who took leadership and activities. Somehow, all the twists and turns brought us together, creating a space where everyone had a role to play. So, let's recap what we learned. First, identify and ideate. Ask what's missing and dare to fill the gap. 2, teamwork turns me into we. No one can do it alone, trust your team. 3, lead by example. Actions inspire others more than words ever will. 4, persistence powers progress. Big achievements are accomplished one small step at a time. And 5, face your fears. Fear will always be there, but it doesn't have to stop you. So, I'll leave you guys with this. What's your VBS? What's the thing in your community, your workplace, your neighborhood, your family that's missing? And who could help you bring it to life? Because the truth is, we all have the power to transform our communities. It doesn't take perfection. It doesn't take a miracle. It just takes a few people willing to say, let's try. Thank you.